Okay, well, welcome everyone to the Rory James podcast. I'm James, and I'm joined by the famous Rory.
Hello, James.
So we've got another interesting episode, which is another song collaboration we did. But this one actually goes back to a song we wrote together a long time ago that we've sort of reimagined.
Yeah.
So, Rory, with your exceptional memory, do you want to bring the listeners back to how this song came about?
Well, we were sitting in my Orpheus flat, weren't we? And I had a Ghetto Blaster tape thing at the time, and we chose a Beatle riff that we then reversed and made up a song called "We're All One," which was a collaboration we did with some friends of mine who were at Orpheus, and we had three other colleagues work with us. Two on guitar, one on bass. No, four. Two on guitar, one on bass, and one on drums. Two of those being brothers. In fact, hang on, Stuart was on drums and Roger was on guitar, and his friend Stuart was on bass. Stuart King was on bass. So um, the band that we got together, which was made up of my friend Christine's children, who I just mentioned, they collaborated with us in the Orpheus studio with the engineer Ian, um, and the song "We're All One" was a kind of rock based track, wasn't it? And I remember we had a day's worth of recording, three tracks, including this one. We had to get them recorded and then mixed and produced on CD in one day, which we did. But I remember rushing through the lyrics. Do you remember? And this one, but this one's a bit slower, deliberately so.
Yeah, well, your exceptional memory as ever has delivered the goods on that one. But yeah, I've got some memory of being in the Orpheus studio recording it.
Yes,
But I guess what sort of the part two to all of this is, so that happens, what, 15 years ago, 20 years ago?
2001.
2001. So, God blimey, 24 years ago, which is
Wow.
slightly terrifying. Yes, that was 24 years ago.
Yes.
Then fast forward to 2025, we're recording now.
Mm.
Do you want to describe sort of the process we've gone through to bring that back to life?
Well, we went through various tracks, and we're working on two tracks at the moment, and we selected uh, remaking two particular tracks that we've done before. Of "We're All One" is one of them, and the concept really is to have a drum element to it, which I've taken as a sample, and you're going to play over, James.
Yeah.
But also the idea is to kind of have uh, the lyrics sung smoothly over sort of rather busy sounding sound effects on a record. So so it's this idea of on a busy day we all want peace and we're all feeling the same thing. Hence the "we're all one" phrase. But the idea is to slow the concept down, but still have some of the elements.
Yes. Right. And then from how did you? Because we don't have a recording of this song available, as far as I'm aware. So how did you? How were you able to get the tune and all this kind of stuff back?
I remembered it.
That, I mean, yeah, fair enough. That is exceptional.
I was no, I think I have it under somewhere in iTunes, but it's one of those ones where you've put track 34 and track 34 might be that track or it might be another one, So I just
Hmm.
remembered, and I also remembered some parts of your guitar riff, and I've been trying to remember the where the placements are within the song, in terms of timing the drum sample long enough to get the entire song sung over it. And I can't wait to hear, which I haven't as yet at the time of the recording, folks, how James is going to play the music back over the new thing, because are you reinterpreting it, James, or can you remember the basis?
So I remembered the riff, the sort of rocky riff. What, and
Yes.
then from your singing, I was able to recall the chords for the. I think they're
Mm.
actually the verse rather than the chorus. But yeah,
Yeah.
so your singing sort of helped bring back some of the recollection for the chords. But yeah, the riff I had in my mind, funnily
Yeah,
enough.
it's dum da 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 da. That's the basis, isn't it?
That's the one, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So we're mid-production of this at the moment. So I guess we'll end it here. We'll finish off making this song, and then, like we did with the last episode, we'll come back and give our post-production thoughts once we've actually heard the thing and put it all together.
Yeah, so we'll put you ahead in real time and put the song in now. We're all one 'cause we're all human. We're all one, the same as each other. Don't tell me you are different. Don't be afraid to show your emotion. Wake in the morning with all the day's worries. But you put on your jacket, get out the door. You're a different person. Still nerves lie in the back of your mind. We're all one 'cause we're all human. We're all one, the same as each other. Don't tell me that you are different. Don't be afraid to show your emotion. Get to work, your phone starts ringing. You realize you're 1 hour late. Running around, you wish it was Sunday. You wish you were still in bed. We're all one 'cause we're all human. We're all one, the same as each other. Don't tell me that you are different. Don't be afraid to show your emotion. The light at the tunnel. You'll be okay, my friend, 'cause we're all one. We're all one 'cause we're all human. We're all one, the same as each other. Don't tell me that you are different. Don't be afraid to show your emotion.
Right, well, we're back, but obviously for you listeners, we're back within minutes, but it's actually been over a week since we recorded that first bit before the song. So we've now heard the final production of the song that you've just heard. So Rory, I come to you first. What were your thoughts when hearing that final cut after everything had been produced together?
Well, I was really looking forward to it, and we were adding in those drums, which was a sample I had taken, and also that office noise that started the song off, and to contemporize the song and to make it sound as full as we could make it. And a relativity I was trying to do. I love those chords that you were playing in those verses, and I was trying to make my voice in the verses sound smooth to kind of counteract against that "we're all one" message, which in our one 24 years ago, the version 24 years ago, was the heavier part of the rock sequence. And I was trying to get that balance right, and I think we just did it. And the interesting thing was that the office noise that you listeners heard there, do you hear how that went on after the song finished? That was our idea to make the idea of the song last in your ears. And that was those were my key points that I remembered.
Yeah, and then tell about obviously the part of the cut of the song is having that office noise in the background. Do you want to sort of discuss a bit where that came from, what your thinking was there?
Well, I was trying to find on YouTube, just in general, clips that were available, generally available to anybody on the internet, samples of effective office noise, drums, music, which we could add into what we were doing, and also my my idea was to record those with enough quality of sound, because I was actually using the recording device that I'm using to record us now. I'm recording at my end, and James is talking to me on the computer here, and so I managed to get a reasonable sound reproduction of just the clearest sounding, fullest office noise that I could. And the concept of the song is basically that the person's in the office, they're hardworking, but really, as I say in the lyrics, you wish you were still in bed. And also a factor of our consideration is to make the song sound universal. We're all one. We're all there. So that's the entire basis behind that.
Yeah, which is interesting because I don't. Obviously, it's a long, long time since we originally wrote it, and I didn't make that link from your lyrics about it being this idea of we're all working, we're all sort of in the rat race, as it were. And I think that's really fascinating. I think that's a great kind of message as part of the song. That's very interesting.
Yeah, an interesting thing was also when we were, generally speaking, when I was working with Orpheus people, they tended to write songs which were perfectly fine, but it was always something about very individual songs. So it would be the person's next door neighbour or their pet rabbit or whatever, very individual themed tracks. So, and where if you were writing a song about your pet rabbit, you could say my pet rabbit, or you could say we all love rabbits. If you see what I mean. So we're taking on the universal theme, regardless of whatever's going on. So very much we're all one was a concept of that, and also the chance to add on a sort of more technical aspects to the way that we were working, because I was actually recording, James, to that wonderful guitar that you sent me, but I was also predicting the fact that later on I'd hear in the mix the drum sample, the office. So what was the right balance of my voice amongst that? And I think, as you said earlier, I think we did get that right, didn't we?
Yeah, I think it was a tricky one about what you want. Obviously, the vocals is the most important part of the song, obviously, but you want to be able to get the drums was important because that gave it the rock. Bear in mind, it was done by acoustic guitar, whereas our original recording was done with electric guitar and bass, and you need the drums to give it more of a bite, as it were.
Yeah, I think that's right, because in fact, and we're saying in this after you've heard the song as well, but I was aware, obviously, that and I'm sure you were too, as you've just said, we didn't have a bass line in it. So my original thought was, audio wise, in the audio experience, if we added in the drums, in this case a sample, if we added in the office noise, in that case a sample, then you got the guitar, then you got the voice, then you got the changes in the tempo and volume, that's enough to keep the ear busy. So anything that is absent isn't thought of because there's too much in there anyway, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. It's a very fine balancing act, isn't it, to get all those parts to work together.
Yeah, and the more I actually, because I was when James first sent me the mix, I was doing some photographs. I was doing as sorting out my collection. I was listening to the song on repeat, and the more I heard it, the more I repeated it as of on repeat on iTunes after James sent me the mix. The easier to the ear the song sounds, I think, because the more you get used to the volumes and the messages.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so that's the song then. We're all one. Any sort of final comments that you wanted to flag on this one?
It was just really fascinating to bring it back after so many years. I felt what was different, what was the same. But I think the thing that stands out for me is the two things really: the audio technology we used, and the atmosphere of the office noise, particularly, which kind of contemporized that thing. Because just going back to that reflection on Orpheus, on average, when I or most of us would write, you'd have an hour to write a song, which mostly would be on a piano. So you'd have lyrics and piano, and it would be a fairly basic individualized topic. With this one, which is our own thing, which we worked on by sending files back and forth, similar to the way we did the bird song, the bird sings, the bird still sings, the previous track. we've had the time to send things back and forth and create and add things to it that we wouldn't have had before. And as before with the birds, with the bird still sings, to do something which we would have done in the Orpheus studio, but in our own particular way.
Mm.
And strangely, it was more simply created, I think, than it actually sounds. Do you think so?
What do you mean by that?
Well, basically it was guitar, drum sample, the office noise, and the voice. So 4 elements which work together as a fuller sound than even I think we thought it was going to be. Did you find that?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, particularly bearing in mind how we had originally recorded it.
Yeah, as we said earlier in the timeline there, we had to do the first one in one day all those years ago.
Yeah.
This one's we've had a few weeks, So it's an entirely different process. Actually, there was all kinds of historical references as well with bands like the Beatles being allowed to have more time to add components to their tracks once they worked in the studio. So technologically, we've had a second chance with this song in the same way, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. The wonders of modern technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We'll be back soon with another podcast, and
We will indeed.
We will indeed. Should we? I don't think have we decided what the next one's going to be yet, James?
Well, we've mooted a few things. I think potentially psychology, of all things, being a potential option.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll get our heads together and we'll have our new episode out soon.
So and while we're working on the psychology one, which will be a spontaneous discussion, we'll be also working on songs which will be subsequent, of course, to this, and using the same idea of real world sounds. But in the meantime, thank you so much for joining us for We're All One.
We'll be back soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.